ladies and gentlemen, educators of today and of tomorrow. I'm Alec Virgil, and I want to show you a quick review of some innovative educational strategies to keep your students engaged. The first thing I want to show you is whiteboard splash. So you're going to divide your students up into two teams, and they're going to have the opportunity to compete against each other. Now, you're going to make a T on the board. Now, this can be used for review, or it can just be used in class to kind of get your students up and get that blood flowing. So I might put a review word on the board. So I taught social studies, so maybe I want to put 5 themes of geography. Now, as my students are divided up, they will each get an opportunity to come up to the board and to write one phrase or one key word that relates to the 5 themes of geography. And they will obviously compete against each other to see who can get the most points. So if you are a PBIS school, this would be a great opportunity to award your students with tickets for the ones who participated the most and those who got the most points. So if I'm on team 1, I'm going to come over here. One of the 5 things of geography might be location. So I might write location. Unfortunately, this marker is a bit out of ink here. However, you get the point. And if you have any type of phrase, any type of math problem, any type of science that you might want to include, use it. It's time to get creative. Put it right above the T-chart there and let your students work together. But make sure that each student gets an opportunity to write on the board, because inclusive is the way to go. This segment is about your social contract. At the beginning of every school year, within the first 5 days, you want to make sure that you create your social contract. With each class, there should be a unique social contract, and they are guided by 4 questions. So feel free to pause the video to get all 4 questions. Each social contract should have these 3 key phrases: respect, effort, and no put downs. Other words may include honesty, loyalty, kindness, initiative, and other great character traits that each student should possess. Creating a social contract allows your students to own the classroom and to own their expectations, so that if and when they get out of line, they'll hold each other accountable. So another way to get your students to be fully engaged, I'm going to introduce to you a total participation technique. Now, if you're asking your questions, or if you are asking students to make a statement, let them use their voice by using index cards. So I'm going to write 2 words. The first word I'm going to write is true. Well, what's the next word going to be? I'm glad you asked. You got it. False. Now, this can work in any subject. If you're asking your questions during your summarizing period, this would be a great time for you to tell your students to take out their true or false cards and to get ready to answer some questions. Let's see. Martin Luther King gave a "I have a dream" speech. Is that true or false? True. The NBA, you have to score a touchdown. False.
You know, one other idea I was thinking about, Alec, instead of only having true and false, they could have cards that say A, B, C, D, or something like that, and you could do multiple choice. And that way, maybe there's 3 different options or 4 different options. So lots of ways you can take that note card idea that was so brilliantly described now and tailor it to whatever topic and whatever context you want.
You got it, Dr. Greenfield. Thanks, sir.
Good Things is an activity that we use in every class. It is a way to celebrate the accomplishments of our students, and it is a great way to have the students to express their true emotions of happiness and joy. Each class, they will have an opportunity to say something good that has happened. You will let them partner up, or they can work in their groups, or you can just have students simply share out all good things that's happened in the last week, the last day, the last class period, or whichever you may choose. Be creative about it and keep your students guessing. Now, there's a couple things that you want to remember when doing Good Things. Number 1 is practice good listening. Always lean in and show interest. Number 2, ask good follow-up questions to your students and show them that you truly care about what good things that's going on in their life. Number 3, affirm your students. That can either be words of affirmation, saying thank you, saying, hey, that was very thoughtful of you, or you can clap, or you can snap. As the leader of the class, as the teacher, it is important that you practice good listening by leaning in, making eye contact, having an open body stance. I wouldn't fold my arms, because if I fold my arms, it shows that I'm closed and that I may have less interest in what the student is saying.
What's up, everybody? Dr. G here. You already had some great ideas from Alec and heard plenty from me during the workshop, but just a couple of things I want to mention. One, it's called the 1-minute paper. 1 minute left in class, like an exit ticket. Have your students take out a blank piece of paper, write down one thing they learned today, one thing they didn't understand or still struggling to get. When they turn it in, no names on it, no names at all. It's anonymous. They get a chance to be honest. It reminds them of one thing they got. They walk away knowing something that's locked in, and then you get some feedback about something they're still not understanding, so you can go back and cover it the next day. Here's one more idea: polleverywhere.com, P-O-L-L everywhere.com. Free up to 25 responses. I'm pretty sure around that number. Here's what you do. They can use their cell phones or computers to give you some feedback about what they know or what they're thinking. So here's a question I posed, and they use their phones. Again, I don't know your cell phone policy, but let's just pretend you can. And they just type in their answer to that question. So how many branches of government of the United States? Boom, I just typed it in my phone, my response based on the code, and then you'd know how many people get it or how many people aren't understanding. You can also do, sort of opinion polls, and you can also do something really fun with this, is to do open-ended questions. So if I'm saying, what are y'all thinking about class today, or what do you feel about what's going on in the world today? Any personal opinion, they get a chance to kind of chime in and share that. And so all I do again is go to my phone, if I'm your student, and I type in, I just to really say, I say, what do y'all think of what's happening in the world right now? Student types a response, and anonymous, I struggle with what I see. Obviously, they would type something longer, but I'm just giving you an idea. And that way you can find out what people are really thinking or feeling. You can use it in so many different ways for everybody to really know, honestly, what's going on in the room and to get all the ideas out. Just a couple of quick ideas. Thanks, y'all.